Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you today with Something is Killing the Children, Issue 1. And I was reluctant to read this at first. I thought it was going to be kind of... I'm not saying that indie books are bad, but there's times where I'll read indie books and I'm just thinking, my God, let's get on with it. Or does this have any point? This does. Sadly, this number 1 is an 8th printing. I was trying to get a first printing on Amazon, and oh my God, the price they want for it already. I can't believe how quick the value of this book has jumped up, which I'm glad that this has that popularity. But man, for those of us that kind of slept on it, it's like, damn. But at least I got a number 1 because I'm glad that they have collected trades, but I'm from that generation who is used to getting their books weekly, or at least when you get on something new, you would go find the single floppies, and that's just a mentality that I cannot break. I'm a dinosaur. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the print date on this was April 2021. And this is, oh, these are just the printings. So, yeah, it doesn't even say. Anyway, we'll get to the credits. I'm not 100% sure where they're at. But what I like is at first, as this book's opening, sorry guys, still kicking that cough. Hold on. Sorry about that. Is these kids playing Truth or Dare. And you think, no, that's kind of lame. But it really sets the whole tone for the story. Because we have this kid just here going, Truth or Dare. And we get our main kid here going, Truth. Boo! Shut up, Noah. Okay, yeah. Got one. What's the most scared you've ever been? In the artwork, the way his face shades over, it just really kind of adds that foreshadowing, both literally and symbolically. I haven't had enough coffee yet, guys. So what happens is this kid, I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. I think it's Noah. I'm not sure. We'll get into it. But he gets deadpan saying, okay, fine, I'll tell you. And he goes, and they're, well, first off, they're kind of bickering because I guess this kid always tells them about his nightmares and stuff, and they're kind of thinking they're dumb. But they're just like, no, this was true. This was, there was this night the other week. It's not one of those dreams. This wasn't a dream. My dad was at some soccer thing with my sister, and I was alone in the house. I heard this noise coming out of the ravine, like this big moan. I thought it was the wind, right? Coming through the trees. I turned out the lights in the TV room. In this room, right here. I just wanted to see what was out there. So I looked out the window. And just for a second, I saw this, I don't know, this thing standing taller than a tree, standing in the middle of the yard. Like it had been walking towards the house, but the lights going off confused it. It had these long fingers and sharp teeth. I went and hid under the blankets on the couch and just listened into the dark for like an hour before looking again. But nothing was there. The yard was just empty. And I love how the story intenses. You see how everyone's kind of getting into it in the way they shade his face and just kind of give the glow of his glasses. It's great stuff. And everyone at first doesn't believe him, and he goes, I swear it's true. And then he looks at his friend Noah. His friend's name is Noah. He goes, okay then, Noah, Truth or Dare. And the next thing we know, he's in a police station covered in blood and being questioned. And you can see, based on his shirt, that this was almost directly after the sleepover. So you're all of a sudden, you have these chills from this story being told at a sleepover, like sort of as a campfire, but in a bedroom setting. And then all of a sudden, boom, wait, what the hell? There's all this stark lighting and whatnot. What's going on? And so you're just as confused as this kid is. And let me see, I still cannot find his name? We'll get there. Sorry, guys. It's one of those moments, but just the way the two stark contrasts of going from this dark, gloomy feeling to the police station, and then we still don't get answers. All of a sudden, we see this girl in a what are those things? The radio wagon flyer. And all of a sudden, we just see this chick with the mask. You're like, what the fuck is going on? You get no answers so far. You get this horror story. You see a kid covered in blood. And then all of a sudden, you see this chick coming out of the woods. And you think, is she going to hack this chick up? But thankfully, that's not the case. That would have been terrible. But instead, we get these paneling, and you find out that this girl's kind of like a hunter of some sort. So she reminds me in a sense like Sam and Dean. She gets phone calls, and she goes where she needs to go. So you come to find out that this is very much kind of a monster story. But it's not just a monster. That's the interesting part of this. But yeah. I like also the artwork here where the kid's going back to school. And again, we are still not seeing what happened that night. We just seen him return to high school. We see all the memorials of the kid that dies, all the bullies that hated him. And you can see that, he was there in the midst of this violence that we haven't seen yet. And he finally tells the school bully to shut the fuck up. And here, again, what I like is in the real world, at least the generation I grew up in, we would be the ones that are in trouble. But we get this new principal who, the kid's name is James. There it is. Should have figured Tinian would have put himself in. Anyway. I like that this principal actually empathizes with James. He goes, you really should have, where is it? Hold on. He goes, what am I supposed to do about this? I think you're supposed to call my dad. Do you really want me to call your dad, James? No. You really should have punched him. Not that I'm advocating violence, but God, if there was a kid I wanted to. Okay. And then he's like, what the hell am I saying this for? You don't need my stress on top of everything. It's okay. No, it's not. Not even one little bit of this is all right. So at least we get one of those ones where, like in horror films where the parents kind of, or the, what do you call it? Adults, what's the word I'm looking for? The adult peers kind of always blow off the kids. It's nice to kind of get that breath of fresh air that, this kid's obviously going through a lot. A lot of his friends had just died, and now he's catching grief from school. It was just a nice little bit, and it gives you a moment to kind of breathe from everything that we've just seen so far. And so we come back to this girl. We have no idea what her name is, but we know that she's coming to Archer's Peak, and this is where all this is happening. And here this kind of gave me It vibes, where, they come back to Derry, and you start seeing all these kids that are missing. And then this is where our two characters meet each other. We still have no idea what her name is. We have no idea what this means. And she goes, I need you to know that I'm going to believe whatever you tell me, okay? No matter how weird it is. And James says, okay. And then this is where the ultra-violence gets in. And this is one thing about this book, the way it builds. It builds. It builds. And then you finally get into just the madness of what happened that night. And you're just like, my God, I need to know more about what this beast is. What the hell? Why is it killing children? And why did it let James go? Or how did James get away? Who is this girl that apparently knows how to slaughter them? How many more of these demons are there? And from what I understand, I think at this point there's 26 issues. I wish I would have got on board back in 2021, but it is what it is. Oh, speaking of which, we almost forgot because I said at the end. Right here. Yeah. The Angel of Archer's Peak, Part 1. James Tynion writing. The illustrator is Werther Dell'Edera, I believe is the name. Colored by Miquel Mireto. Lettered by Anne World Design. here's everyone else that's working on the book. And damn, I wish I could have got that Jay Lee variant. That would have been awesome. But anyway, something is killing the children. If you want a good horror book to read for October, guys, definitely go and try to get the single floppy issues. Or, you know, if you want to shave some space, save some space, go get the collected trades. I think there's 1 or 2 out already. And I always say, please make sure to go check your local comic shop first and support them. And then if not, then go other routes that you can. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate it if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little chainsaw bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. And with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.